Hi, I'm Jennifer Janish, owner of Adored Salon and Adored Signature Hand-Tied Hair Extensions. I'm obsessed with curly hair. I cut it, style it, and extend it, and this podcast is all about my curly girl obsessions that stretch far beyond just curly hair. Hey there, it's me, Jennifer from Adored Signature, Hand Tied Hair, Adored Salon, Jennifer from Behind the Chair, and on the Curly Girls Obsessions podcast today with Alyssa from the Salon. Her Instagram is at
Hair by Alyssa Wolf.
You can follow her there to get more tidbits on her life and all the fun things that she does. Today, we're going to talk about self-care because Alyssa took a vacation that I cannot believe I've never taken.
You have to.
And I was like her biggest advocate to take this trip.
Yes.
She came to me and she's like, "Oh my God, I found this spa." And I was like, "Alyssa, this is the only time in your life you're this free and you should go. You should go because once you have kids, and when I was your age, those things were like only an option for the elite, like Hollywood, I feel like.
Yeah,
It
for
wasn't
sure.
it wasn't like accessible.
Well, I feel like that's why I was so nervous to like do it, was because I was like, oh my gosh.
Who's gonna be there?
And more like the money. I was like, I do not like I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to spend this
Party
money on
with her money.
Literally, I was like, like I work so hard, like it's like gonna be all like blown in a week like that.
Yeah.
But when we get there, I like checking out did not even bat an eye.
Okay, so
Like
so tell them where you went.
so I stayed at Savannah Wellness in Carefree, Arizona.
That name, like, did they
know,
name the town
like,
after the spa?
I can tell
Like,
you I
that's
had
just
no
so crazy.
cares in the world. Like I did not care about anything when I was there. Like it was just amazing. So I'll like go into a little bit about the trip, I guess. So I booked it in a meeting with Jen. I was like, I was telling her, I was like, oh, I want to do this, blah, blah, blah. And I was so nervous to do it. I mean, like, I'm 22, like, going on a trip by myself has been on my list, but super, super scary. And yeah, I don't think I would have done it if Jen wasn't like, you need to go. Like, this just seems right. And,
Well, and I feel like you're like, when did you start school? How long have you been in school?
It'll be a 3 semesters after this one, so a year and a half after this semester.
And I feel like the start of school was,
oh my gosh, I was
like, Alyssa, don't do this to yourself.
I know.
Like
I was just working so much and in school so like and then I was like trying to have a social life on top of it, and like I was literally drowning in like trying to stay busy and stay educated and stay like have money and like have fun with my friends.
Just do life, but add in, how many accredited hours were you taking? A lot. It was like three classes.
Yeah.
Is a
My
pretty,
first semester was rough.
and working full time.
Yeah, and I didn't even have like the
I
day.
was like, oh my gosh.
And then that call with Jen, she was like, so we need to maybe rework your schedule. And I was like, I'm dying.
Yeah, that's right. That's when I was like, you need to cut down a day
Yeah.
here in order
Yeah.
to maintain your sanity.
No, yeah. And it worked.
Yeah, it did.
It worked.
It totally it worked. It didn't hinder you one bit. I
Yeah.
feel like it's almost weird. I feel like your service sales increased.
I agree, because I also feel like since it was towards the beginning of my career, I kind of I don't know, I wasn't fully booked. So I think that having a little less hours was like more motivating for me to like get people in the door as much as I could, because I was like, okay, well, if I'm working less, I need to make my time in the salon so much more valuable. And then it kind of like made me, I don't know what the word, like I didn't have enough time.
Mm-hmm.
So people needed to book with me like due to my schedule versus like, oh, I have all this time, So yeah.
Right. It was a benefit. Honestly, too, there's something weird about, not on your end, but the client's end, of the scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
Like, okay, there's not as many opportunities on, sorry if you hear my computer. I just saw my client drive by and I'm like, there's no way it's time for her appointment. And it would be like her to be an hour early. So,
Oh my God.
So, anyways, like that scarcity mindset, I think helped. She is an hour early.
Oh my God.
Text Julie. Just can you just text her?
Yeah.
And just say we know she's here, but
Yes.
we're just gonna
text her.
I won't be able to start her until her appointment time.
Yeah.
Okay. So back to the podcast. This is one of the crazy things that happens inside of a hair salon. Um, Clients just come and show up and you're like, ah, okay. So that scarcity mindset for your clients was like, okay, I know Alyssa's not going to be as available. And then as they started coming in too, they would understand, okay, now you're going to school, you're going to get your associates, you're going to do this. And so I feel like that was that was like the start of you needing this vacation.
Yes. Yes.
And
For
me
sure.
seeing it because your vacations prior to were with your girlfriends.
Yeah.
And
And
you
they were
guys
fun, but like,
not relaxing.
yeah, no, I would come back and I'd be like, I don't want to work. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Done.
like motivating in a sense of like, yes, I want to be able to make money so that I can go on trips like this, but definitely like physically and like mentally tolling versus like actually going on vacation and like having a real reset.
Yeah. Okay. So you researched this spa.
Yes.
It's in Arizona, which is so crazy. Like, of course, we were talking about you going, and then on my phone pops up like it was a podcast,
Yeah.
the Rachel Hollis podcast about how this.
It was
So
like
you were in
fun.
Carefree,
Yeah.
and but what like
I think it was like Sedona they were talking about.
yeah,
Something like that.
where it's like one of the most spiritual
Yeah.
like centers
People
where
swear
these
by
rocks
that
are
too.
and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, because I totally believe in all of this.
Yeah.
I really, really now wish I was going with you. But you wouldn't have had the same experience with me because I would have been like, okay, I gotta go do this. I gotta go.
I would have told you like I'm going out, and you'd be like, what do you mean you're going?
I'm gonna be working on this. It's just honestly,
But
right? With
it is-
strangers.
but-
Yes. You went out with full on strangers.
Yes.
Where did that strand just what did I just grab?
Did I get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's on my so yes, how'd you do that? I would have been scared.
Okay.
That's where my craziness comes in.
So I think that as soon as I got dropped off at the airport, like I was just like my chest was like back, like my chin was up, and I was like, I am just like so excited. Like so many people were like, are you nervous? Like, are you scared? And I was like, I'm just so excited. Like I had such good energy going into it. Like I was very excited to be by myself and like genuinely rest. So first couple days I'm there, I just stayed on the resort. I didn't do anything crazy besides like taking yoga classes. I took a couple meditations. I laid by the pool. I had good food. Um, so I really just kind of like got my groundings, which was good. Like I knew where I was. I explored the grounds. I was comfortable in my room. I was just kind of like getting my feet wet, being alone.
And just like the view.
Oh my gosh.
Intoxicating. She
Yeah.
would send me pictures and I'm like, I would just
You were like, "Are you coming back?" I was like,
yeah, I really did. I really did start fearing that. When I started seeing the rodeo, I'm like, oh,
she's not coming
we're
back.
done. Lombard is just gonna seem so
I
boring.
know. I'm even like looking outside right now, and I'm like,
I know both of us. Like, here's the podcast, and we're both like, "Gosh, it's so dreary. It's so ugly."
It's not
over
that
there."
cold though. It just like looks gross.
Like yeah, like it could
I'm
downpour
like
at any
spring. Did
moment.
we like get that stuff? But yeah, back to that. So like going out by myself. I feel like because I took so much time the first couple of days that I was there to truly like reset and do the things that I love, which is like I love doing yoga. I was outside so much. I was like one with nature. I had so many cool interactions with animals. I meant to tell you that I was in a meditation class in a rose garden, and a what are those birds that you like?
Hummingbird.
It came up to my face, Jen.
And just like
It just like
it's like the craziest thing you've ever
I was
seen.
like in awe, like chills, like in
Uh-huh.
like I was like, where am I? Like
It is the coolest bird you can ever.
and the sound that they make is like like I was walking home from dinner or I think it was like a class one day, and I'm walking on this path. I would always take the long way back to my room just to like have a nice walk. And a deer just like in the middle, like a deer just like in the middle walks through, and then they have this like meditation walk called the Labyrinth, I believe it's called, and it like walks right into like chills, like just the whole place was.
Wait, what does it walk into?
It's the Labyrinth is called, or it's called the Labyrinth, but it's like a meditation walk. So
Uh-huh.
you like walk through this whole thing, and then you like get to the center, and then you like walk back. It's like it was cool. It was just like cool that it like walked right into it, and then like we saw each
The
other.
deer walked
Yes.
into it.
Yes,
Okay.
and then
Cool.
we saw each other. We like I have a video I can show you, but we saw each other, and then he just like sprinted off, and
Oh
like
my
it was so
gosh.
cool. Just so many cool animal interactions. But then like I was thinking about this trip, and I was like, well, I really want to relax and do yoga and take workout classes and meet people and go to the spa, but like I also like I do like to go out. So I was like, how am I gonna like figure this out? So of course I reached out to some people that I know in Arizona, and I got some recommendations from a bunch of people, and everyone was like, "Oh, like you have to go to Buffalo Chip. I think it's close to where you're staying." And it was like 5 minutes down the road. It was a super cool like rodeo bar. So I walked in, and
Oh, you didn't go with anybody from the spa?
no,
Oh
I
my
went by
gosh.
myself. I met people there.
That's so
So I
cool.
walked in, I like get in line. I'm like, oh, like this is kind of like I'm fine. Like I was fully prepared to sit by myself and watch the rodeo, which
Mm-hmm.
like that would have been fine. But I get in line, I'm like, ask the girl behind, or I see the girl in front of me go get a drink, and like her friend's waiting, and I was like, I should get a drink. Like I need to loosen up. And then so I asked the girl behind me, I'm like, hey, can you like hold my spot? I'm gonna go get a drink really quick. And she's like, of course. So then I started talking to her. She like just turned 21. She was like coming from the college town. I think she went to ASU, and then I started talking to the girls in front of me, and they were on like a girls trip, just them two from New York. And yeah, I ended up sitting, like all of us ended up sitting together, all
Oh,
five of us.
cool.
And then
That's good because there was other people from other
right,
places, so
exactly.
it
So
just
like
helps.
it was
Yeah.
it was perfect. And then yeah, kind of got to go know them. We watched the rodeo for a little bit, then got bored and went to like the dance floor, and
So
yeah,
the
we were
bar was literally like there was an outdoor rodeo and then there was an indoor.
it's huge. So like there's like a whole outdoor rodeo, and then there's like an outdoor like bar. There's a couple outdoor bars, and then like an outdoor dance floor, and then they also have like a whole inside that's like they have like a live band in there, and another a couple of bars and one bathroom, which was crazy, but
Like not even a male or female.
no, they did, but it was just like one
One,
each, and
one.
it was yeah. But
Like
it
how is that possible?
right, and it
Because
was
if it's
huge.
huge.
Right. Yeah.
And did they have a rodeo there every night?
I think it's like Wednesday and
Oh,
Fridays.
okay. Yeah, that makes a little bit more
Yeah.
sense.
But it was so cool. It was just like different. And then I had to be up for horseback riding the next day, so I just like went from
Okay.
like 6 to 10.
Also with that, because I saw that,
Would you do that?
I have.
Oh, okay. I was
I
gonna say
have.
I don't know if that's your thing.
But were you going up a mountain?
Kind like it wasn't super steep, but a little
But
bit.
I mean, you looked high up there.
Yeah.
Looked high. Like to me, like when you panned out, and
Yeah.
I was like, so if you know, one of my biggest fears is heights. Like
Poor Jen.
if I was by myself, I probably, and I probably would have met up with someone at the spa that would have wanted to go to the rodeo. I give you total credit for going on your own because I would have had this crazy scenario in my head that someone would kidnap me and take me. And, one too many like Chicago PD movies, I think. And but the heights, it messes me up. So when we were in Tennessee and we rode horseback through this where we stay there, like we stay up in the mountains and there's a valley with a horse ranch,
Hmm.
and they call it the valley tour. Their idea of a valley tour and my idea of a valley tour are
Like perfect valley.
yeah. I'm like, we'll be fine. And I'm like, why are we zigzagging up this mountain?
Oh no.
And he's like, well, we only go halfway up. Like the top is 1,800 feet. Like we're only halfway up. And I'm like, and the horse always goes to the edge.
Hmm.
Your path for them, right? Like it was like
Oh,
this
yeah.
wide.
My horse kept like walking to the side, and I was like, okay, that was a tree. Like really?
Yeah. Like you're like, get back,
Yeah,
get
I
back.
know.
It does. It kind of but I do like there's something about horses too that I just feel like when you're on them, and they are in full control, and they are a big beast, and they literally could just buck you off, but
Right.
that most, they're trained so well, or they just do it so often that they're accustomed to it. So yeah, I was like, oh my God, is she okay with that? But you're not afraid of heights.
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, like, okay, so we're going back to the same place when I go with my friends, horseback riding. So I'll have to like think about, because I'm not afraid.
Don't think about
No,
it.
but I won't.
It'll
I won't
screw
get
you up.
no, I won't get scared. But I want to like take a moment and be like, am I up high? Because like I didn't even realize it. Because I don't know.
I don't think I got to be so afraid of heights until I had children.
Really?
And it was because, like, I think it is one of those things. The older you get, there are things that you're
You
like,
don't want to get hurt.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I can't afford to get hurt. I can't
Right.
afford to die. So
It's true.
like, I feel like that fear comes with kids. And like, the only thing that kept me sane was watching Miley, my, like, at the time 6-year-old, being like, the guy in front of us was like doing a headstand on the horse, because like they're so, they're entertaining you. And Miley being like, can I do
And you're like, no.
sit down.
Oh my God,
Sit down.
that's so funny.
And she was like, I could turn around like he is, because she knew that she 100% trusted the horse.
Right.
Like, I feel like you
I
just
guess you
kind of
did
little
too.
trust a little bit more. The older you get, you're like, maybe not today. Maybe not today. And I guess too, because I also know people who've been injured from the horse. But regardless, that it looked amazing, and kudos to you for going on that horse ride.
It was so fun. And that's where I met this girl from Canada. And we ended up chatting like the whole time. And then the group of girls that I went on the ride with was like amazing.
Was it part of the spa?
Yeah, so they picked us up at the spot. You could sign up through the resort.
Okay.
So that's where like I went with everyone, which made it easier for sure. And like it was nice because like we met at like the cafe or whatever. So I like everyone kind of got there early, had breakfast, and then you can kind of tell like who's going horseback riding. So we were like chatting, and then everyone was such a good group of girls. Everyone was so nice. Lots of people that were by themselves that I got to meet, which was cool. And then I met a girl from Canada who was similar age to me. She also kind of was in marketing for beauty, so I feel like we had a good amount to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then it ended up being her birthday the next day, and she also had a spa day on Sunday.
Oh.
So I had my massage in the morning. So I went in the morning, and she was like at the pool after.
How many massages did you get?
I had just one, but I was like at the spa all day. Which was amazing.
Sorry if I keep interrupting.
No, you're
like, as you're
fine.
talking, I'm like, wait, what did you do? So did you?
I would do more next time, honestly, because it was so good. Like it was so good. I like at the end of the massage, she's like, "Oh, like you're all set," and like the ding goes off, and I was like, "That was the best massage I've ever had."
Keep going.
I have this.
Keep
I think I
going.
showed you the video of me walking out of there, right? And I was just like, I was like taking a video of myself, and I was like, "I love my life."
Yes.
I love my life.
Yes, and then it's like pans to the pool in the mountains.
Yes, it was just like unreal. So like I had such a good mix of chill and going out and fun and being outside, and yeah, it was just heaven sent. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. The girl that I met from Canada, it was her birthday, so we both had spa days on the same day. So after I got my massage, we hung out at the pool together. It was her birthday, so like we had a drink, we had lunch together, and then I like tanned all day. And then towards the end of the day, since like we're both alone, I didn't feel bad. Like, oh, like, I'm gonna go do my own thing. Like, and I went into the cold plunge. I did like the aqua therapy kind of thing. Was at the spa for a little bit, and then I had dinner later at night on Sunday.
Okay,
So,
how cold was the cold plunge?
oh, it was cold.
Did they have you do the sauna and the cold plunge?
It was
just
like
the cold plunge.
It wasn't like no one was there helping you. It's just like recommended how they do it. So the aqua therapy circuit was like you go in the regulation pool, and then you go in the cold plunge, and then you go in the hot.
Ooh. And
But
so I know
so
it's supposed to be
good.
so awesome.
And like it was funny because there was a bunch of other people in there when I was doing it, and
was the cold plunge big? Or was it your
It,
own?
it was no, it was like for everyone. There was like a room, an aqua room. So like the aqua therapy was in that room. So the pools were like, I don't know, like the size of this room maybe.
Oh, so
But
it
like
was
not
like
deep. They
yeah.
were like this
So it wasn't
deep.
like the
No.
solo cold plunge.
No, but it was like not crowded enough to where you weren't in there with someone else usually.
Mhm.
It was funny though because there's people like in the hot just like waiting to kind of go back in the circuit, and I was like in the cold plunge like trying to breathe through it, which helps so much, and they were like she's still in there. They were like you guys she's still in there. I was like,
Well,
"How
was
do you
it
get
like
that
very? How long did you stay in?
Probably like a minute,
Yeah,
but like
I
people
feel
do
like
like
that's what they
5.
recommend. Yeah, like you start out. I, I
It was shocking, but
right, and it's like how cold is that water?
I think it
35
was
degrees?
I think it was
No,
54.
35 would be freezing.
No, yeah, it's 54.
54, and then
But it was cold, especially because you're going from like regulation, so it's like warm. It's
yeah.
not hot, but it's like warm.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it just sounds so cool. And to me, like I remember, that new yoga studio that I told you about with like the
Yeah.
salt
Yeah.
therapy sauna. I'm dying to go. They just sent
Oh,
me
you
like
have
a
to let me
free day
know.
and I
I
need
would
to
love to
go.
go.
I need to go, but it's all got to be scheduled around this hair.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
You should get your
downside.
hair out and then go, and then get it
And
back
then what?
in.
But then what? When I'm addicted to go, like
Do it
when I
every
want to
time.
go.
You know, I used to do that, right? I would get my extensions
Yeah.
out for a day and then go swimming and then get them back in.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I know that's so high
I
maintenance, but
yeah.
I mean, we're
Like in
here.
and out, like I would spend more time in here trying to get
Yeah.
but
And
regardless, it just I think I'd probably be totally fine. You didn't put your head under in the cold water plunge
I
anyway.
did, but you don't have
You
to.
did?
You don't have
You
to.
didn't get a brain freeze?
No, I'll have to show you the video. It's
Oh
really
my
funny
God.
actually, because I like plug my nose in like because it's shallow. It's not like you can dunk this way.
Yeah.
And then I was just like hugging myself. I was like,
That's cool that it was shallow because if you needed to have half your body out.
yeah, you don't have to go under.
Totally
I
don't.
think the people that were watching me do it, like when I got up, they were like, "Did she just go?"
Is
under?"
she
I'm like,
really human?
well, my hair was like I accidentally got it in the saltwater pool outside, so I was like, well, I have to wash it
At
now.
this
Like,
point. Yeah.
it's like
Did they have
whatever.
the float tanks in there? The saltwater? Like the saltwater. Have you heard of
No.
those? Oh, the
But the pool was outdoor with salt water.
salt water.
I didn't try and float because I was trying not to get my hair wet, but
Yeah.
I got wet.
The float tanks too are something that I would love to try.
Yeah.
But that's an absolute,
Mhm.
yeah. I'd have to do something with my hair. For sure. The so the best part for me was when Alyssa came back to work like a bubble. Like she was so she was happy to come back because you probably missed everybody
I did.
after
I do.
like 5 or 6 days. Like you're like, okay, I need my people.
I was sad to go, but I took a video of me like in like 0.5 on like my phone leaving the place. And I was like, you could tell I was like, I could stay, but like I think I'm ready.
It's
Like I
time.
think I'm ready to go back.
It's time. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, I can't believe I'm yawning. It's because I just came back from a travel experience that was nowhere near calm and collected. We taught a
Lots of
class for
work.
3 days. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
work. Like, why don't I ever just take today off? Like,
I know.
yeah,
Well,
okay.
I was thinking about that one for my next trip and how I like marked Friday out.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Did you mark out the day you're leaving or the
yeah.
day yeah.
No, just because I'm leaving at like 12.
Yeah.
So like
I really don't think it's a good idea to work.
I
Do you remember where were we going? It was me and Chloe for the Taylor Swift concert, and we were like, "Oh, we're just gonna work this Friday."
Yes. Oh my gosh, and you guys like barely made it.
Screwed us over so bad. Yeah,
Oh my
just
gosh.
don't. Just yeah. If you're going, you're just off.
Take a day off.
Because it doesn't work. I mean, unless your flight wasn't leaving until 6 p.m., that
No,
would be
yeah.
different. But it
Yeah,
is.
but it leaves at like 2:30. So I was like, I could work till 12.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't.
Ugh,
Um,
fine.
and that's actually kind of funny because it's not like many people would be like, "Oh yeah, Alyssa, just just go. But you need to. You needed it. You needed that trip. You need to not work the Friday before you go out on vacation with your friends. Like,
I'll be here for a while. I've had my
Yeah.
vacation.
Mhm.
I'll be
Yeah.
here for a while now.
She's doing a lot. She's had a lot of fun times. So she came back totally refreshed, which is why I'm kind of like, I'm dying to go there now even more.
Yeah.
Like, but I would really have to be so diligent of to not work.
You know, I do think there's some, like, if you're there and you get some sort of like inspiration or idea or like, I don't think that's a bad place to do a little bit of work either. Like, I fully logged out of my hair account and like, do I have less engagement now? Yes. But
Isn't that crazy? For
it's like
4 days, 5 days,
no,
you,
it was
you
like
changed it up.
I like
Yeah.
was before and after I like needed to get back on a roll. But um like I genuinely think that like there's time, especially like in the morning. Like we're very similar. Like I sat on my balcony, had my like pour over coffee, and was like I was reading my book just every morning for like
Mhm.
an hour before I went to a class or like before I got breakfast, whatever it was. But like even that would be a good time too to just like if you have ideas or like the place is so
I
intentional.
think that that's probably what I would
Yeah.
get so like so many ideas for so many
Yes.
things.
And like
And
genuinely listen to I think when you're there, like everything is so intentional and like mindful that you may be able to like turn it off almost and genuinely just be like, okay, how it's like in my personal life. Like think about things that you don't like we don't have time to think about
yeah, we don't.
quotation marks. We don't have time to think about, you know, that kind of stuff when especially we're in an industry like this
Yeah.
that's very go 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 and you have
And a
more
lot of
kids like
conversation too. Like you're when in this class that we went into, one of the stylists like talked a lot, and it was a lot of the time like what I was training on, I would have to like bring the group back to where I was because it would kind of get a little bit derailed. And so then by the end of that day, I was with Chloe and Chloe was like, "Oh my God, we got so much good information." Like her job was to really like hone in on
Yeah.
the topics that people were discussing and asking us questions. And I was like, I cannot even discuss this. Like my brain is so fried. And she's like, "Are you really able to shut it off?" And I have started personally, like after 7 o'clock, I make myself not think about work.
Yeah. So important.
It's so important because
It is hard though, especially when you have an entrepreneurial mindset. Like you're very about the business, and that this business wouldn't happen if you weren't like that. And I think that we're all very like-minded in the sense that like it wouldn't go around if we weren't all very focused on work. But I think that this trip showed me a lot about like
the importance of that.
yeah.
Yes.
And then coming back ready to work. Like I don't never felt like that after a trip. Like it's always like the dreadful you need a vacation from your vacation kind of thing. And I did not feel like that. I was like excited to get back to work. I feel like I had good clear ideas about what I wanted to post, what I wanted to talk about, when I wanted to post. Like I don't know.
It just worked out good. I think it's funny that I was the one who said to you, like, I feel like you need to go, but I'm over here like, yeah, I don't know if I could literally like check out because I need to.
You should. And like I also think it's scary. Like there was okay, so I got bored twice. I got bored twice.
How many days were you gone?
5 nights.
Days. Okay.
6 days.
Mm-hmm.
So I got bored for 30 minutes on day three, or yeah, day three.
30 minutes.
I got bored for 30 minutes only because I was waiting for a class. And I was texting my
You're
friends.
like, it's not enough time to do this.
Well,
but
like,
not-
yeah, and I was like, I'm not hungry. Like, I've been eating healthy all week. Like, my stomach was like this big. Like, so I was like, it was the food. Oh,
What did you eat? What did they serve?
Like plant-based, farm to table, like so
Yum.
fresh. I would wake up and have a juice in the morning. Like they had like, and I would watch them literally make it
Juice it.
fresh. Like I was just in awe. And I would have a juice and it would keep me full for like 3 hours. When I'm in Chicago, and I have the same thing for breakfast every single morning, a handful of spinach and 2 eggs and some sort of like it's sometimes like a protein bagel or like a piece of bread, like whatever it is. Sometimes a handful of fruit. But regardless, I get to work and I want lunch in like an hour.
I'm starving, and that's like I had 2 eggs, 2 pieces of toast,
Yeah.
and a vegetable, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm crashing. And what did I go for? A Reese's peanut butter cup.
Right.
Because like
See,
that's
and
gonna
then
sustain me for 5 seconds. It just gave me a little
And I
taste
think
of a sugar high.
and now like since I've gotten back, I feel like I'm super focused on what I'm eating too because of the way that I felt and like my skin got better. I felt less bloated, like and I definitely get bloated a lot from
I noticed
food.
last week that you had some outfit on, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like her waist is non-existent. That brat. I'm like always trying to.
No, I mean I did work out like for 2 hours a day when I was there, literally every single day except for the spa day.
So,
And then
and it was yoga, and then did they have a gym? Did you lift
they
weights?
had a gym. I didn't lift weights, but I walked everywhere on the resort, which like you kind of have to. But so I did like at least 1 to 2 yoga classes every single day, and then I also did they had
That
like a
sounds
booty
like
bands
fun.
class, which I did 2 of. Oh, that class was so good. And then they had like core killers and like what's it called? What else did I do? I'm trying to think. Yeah, it was mostly like yoga and but the it was like the yoga was so good too. Like I can't stress enough. I have taken so many yoga classes. You know, I am a
Yeah.
weekly 2 to 3 times a
Hanging
week.
from the ceiling.
Yeah, like aerial yoga, like if it's any like I do it. And I was a little nervous that like since, the classes were included in the price, that like they would maybe like jip you a little bit on like the instructors, but no. The instructors were so good. Some of the best yoga instructors I've ever had in my entire life.
I think I cannot believe how much I keep yawning. I think it's too like where you were.
Yeah.
Like it was
It's
like you
definitely
just couldn't help in like,
just immerse yourself in everything
oh
there.
my God, I need to go there.
Yeah, it was
I
amazing.
really need to go there.
It was worth every single penny.
I think you guys should send me there.
I think we should.
I'll be like, wait, what?
You'd be like, did you
Brad,
tell my husband?
we need you to cover the difference on this for yeah. I
No, Chloe and Celia said it too. They were like, I think I need that. And I was like, I think
we all do.
everybody needs
But we
it.
cannot
No,
go together.
no.
We cannot go
No.
together because it would just like you would fall into your same patterns, right? Like it forced you on your own
Yeah.
to go do the things that maybe you wouldn't. Of course, yes, you would go and do the yoga class.
I would
But
do the yoga, but I would have never gone out to a bar by
Right.
myself.
right?
No.
Especially.
And like especially I'm not a crazy drinker, so like I'll have a drink and have a good time, of course. It's like
And I
I
think
just
that's
wouldn't do
probably
that.
why. Like, if you were like a crazy drinker, you wouldn't think twice about
Right.
something like that. You'd be
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm going and
Yeah.
I'm gonna go do my thing.
Right.
But like just the whole experience of it all by yourself. Even like, I guess if I did take Brad, it was so funny today. I
There
said,
was a lot of couples there, Jen.
yeah, I would think, what was the average age, would you say?
All over the place. Honestly, there was people I was most definitely the youngest there.
Mhm.
The closest person to my age I met was the girl from Canada and she was 29.
Oh,
So
so yeah.
like but it was like it was young energy. Like very even the older women, very young energy.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I feel like if you're going there,
you're active. Yeah. And
you're
you know
doing-
what? It was very, very modifiable. Like, yes, the yoga instructors were really good and they were able to challenge me as someone who practices all the time, but also it was so doable and like a little bit challenging for people who don't do it all the time.
Oh.
Like you were able to manage
the whole
yes, like it was no matter where you were in your yogic journey.
Oh my
you would have been able to do it.
I'm so sad that yoga studio closed over here
Oh
above
yeah,
Babcock's because I just can't like I'm like, well, the one in Wheaton, I need to go there and experience it because that is like my most favorite out of anything that I could do for myself, that would be it. Like
Yeah.
journaling,
Yeah.
like working out, all the things, even outside of food, you know, that yoga to me is the best
Like
for
mind, body, spirit, everything.
the whole of it all.
Yes.
What was the other question? The age was one of the things.
Yeah, there was couples. There was I saw a couple mother-daughter situations. That was super cute. And then just a lot of solo. I even saw like a little old man by himself, and I was like, "Stop! You're so cute."
That's so
And
cute.
he's like a farm boy. He was in
What?
a meditation class, so I kind of got to know him a little bit because they like you tell him about yourself, and he was like a farm boy from Iowa and like moved to, I think he was like Darien or something, so close to here, from
Oh.
Illinois. Yeah.
And he ended up there. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I met a lot of people from Chicago / Midwest. Like, I think we all just hate it here. Like, we
Well,
want.
that's what I was going to say about when I was talking to my client. I'm like, sometimes when I look at my husband, I'm like, God, I just look at you and I see stress. For some reason in the Midwest, we're just wired so different. Like when Brad and I go to a restaurant, like if they're not at our table within 5 minutes asking us what to drink, he's like, where are they? What are they doing? What? And I'm like, what is the rush? What is the rush? Like, let's just like enjoy this, because the faster that they come and do all this, the faster this is over. Like, let's just relax. And I think too, just the Midwest people are not in tune with, I mean, if you lived in Arizona,
I would
oh,
be
you just
a
have to
yoga
walk out your
teacher
door
right
and
now.
have that, right? Like
I
that's
would.
exactly like you're like, you live there, you're in the warmth, the mountains and all of that is super accessible.
Yeah,
I mean, of
especially
course, if
in that
you,
location,
yeah,
'cause it's all the valleys. So like everywhere you look, mountains.
mountains,
Like
yeah.
this way, everywhere you look.
If you're going to be in a big city there, obviously it's a city, it's a little bit different, but
For sure.
you could drive and get to that, whereas we're like, okay, we could drive to get to
Like
more flat land and
like
industry.
Starved Rock.
Yeah, like, right.
Okay, Starved
Yeah.
Rock is pretty. I'll give it to them. That's pretty.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's that exactly to your point. And or if you wanted to go to Lake Michigan, but I feel like in Lake Michigan, you're dealing with the city vibe and all that commote. Like I do
Yeah.
think like when a place is heavily congested with people, you're taking on their vibe. Just like I said about Brad, like I look at you sometimes, Brad, and sometimes it just stresses me out because you're so full of stress. And in the city, I mean, Chicago has a lot of nice people, but you walk down the street and see a lot of angry type A crazy people too.
And I'm like, that was another really nice, like intentional thing about the resort that I stayed at was it's small. It's very small and like it's big enough, but it's small to the sense of you don't feel crowded. You don't feel like there's 30 people all over the place. The pool's not crowded. There's quiet zones everywhere where you're just not
sounds like
supposed to
heaven.
talk. Like, and most people were super respectful of that. And like, the pool was like, a good amount of the chairs were taken, but it didn't feel like I don't know.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was just like I was actually able to just like slowly leave my room, slowly go to the pool, sit down. They had service, like I would get a little poppy, like just nothing like everything was definitely taught me to slow down and just be like, okay. And I feel like I catch myself now, like that I'm back home and I'll catch myself in that like go 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 and I like that about myself, but now that like I notice it more, I feel like I can kind of control when I use that go go go, which I like, but it's not like I have to be like that high.
Intensive.
Yes, all the time.
That was just listening to you is making me reflect back onto the circumstances of what we just had in Salem, New Hampshire. And we stayed in this beautiful hotel. It was called the Artisan. It was so cute. It was, but like you walked in and there was loud, not like loud music, but there was music in the lobby.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was two restaurants on either side of the lobby. In the morning, only the cafe was open, so it was a little bit quieter.
Mm-hmm.
And then that closed at 8 p.m. But the restaurant opened probably at 11. And once the restaurant opened, there was that conversation and it was high ceilings. And so then, and it had, oh my gosh, the best scent in there. It was had one of our
that. You're like, oh, it's in my hair.
oh my God, it was just so unbelievable, the scent. But like when you think of all of that, like the scent by itself was so nice. The music was okay, right? But and then the lobby was so beautiful. But then there was just people everywhere.
Noise,
There was so
yeah.
much noise everywhere. And so then you'd walk outside and it was this community based, like multiple, like shopping,
Yeah.
restaurants, living, the hotel, the mall that was around it. It used to be an old racetrack that they tore down and they're built this like all in one community. Like you wouldn't have to leave.
Yeah.
Everything you need is there. But then the communal areas that had like fire pits and picnic tables and Arandac chairs and umbrellas and all this stuff, there was more music out there, and depending on what side you sat on, there was different music. And it was like at one point, I'm
You're
like,
I need to go
I
to my
just need
room.
some silence right now.
Yeah,
And
that's so
it
valid.
really,
That's
it's
so
like
valid.
and so like when you say that, I'm like, I remember when Brad and I took our honeymoon and we stayed in this hotel and we were in Kauai in Hawaii, and I said this to so many people. It was like almost sound just did not even exist there because you'd be outside and someone could be, you'd be laying like at the ocean and someone could be 5 feet away from you. You wouldn't even hear what they were saying
Mm-hmm.
because it was just such this either it was the expansive space or the sound of the ocean drowning it all out, or the fact that there was mountains and this, and you're just so taken with the beauty that you just don't recognize everything else. Right. And, when I walked into the hotel this weekend, I'm like, oh, I love it. It smells so good. It's so cute in here. And then by the end of 3 days of teaching and talking and then going into that lobby and we would work on a lot of things after we were done because we didn't want them to leave. And I'd be like, I just need to go upstairs and shut the lights off. And she would walk in and it would be pitch black, no TV. And I'd be like, you could turn on the TV, please. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it.
Yes.
So that to me just sounds so amazing.
Mhm. Yeah, it was like I said, just overall takes were like slowing myself down, definitely like reflecting on who I am, who I want to be, and just like time to actually think about it. Because I feel like, with the hard work mindset and all that kind of stuff, like you do think about where you want to be, but I just feel like I don't have as much time, or I should make time, but it's not like at the tip of my head to like,
Because you're caught up in
yeah,
in
and
life.
just how life goes and whatnot. And I feel like I actually had time to sit down and be like, okay, where am I at? Where have I been? And like, where do I genuinely want to be? And it was just like time to think and breathe, and they practice so much gratitude, which was so amazing. Like I know it's like can be cheesy and whatnot
No,
to some
it's so
people, but
important.
yeah, like I went to a couple gratitude circles like before I went to my dinners and before I went out, and I genuinely feel like just practicing a little bit of gratitude, like I was more confident going to the rodeo, and I was more confident going out by myself because I was like, wow, like I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful for all these instructors that have been so good. Like just so many things about the trip. Like it was so easy to be grateful for.
Yeah, I can just imagine. Okay, when are you going back?
Like tomorrow.
Right. If
No.
only I could live my life in that
Right.
moment. That's the other
I
thing is like not feeling depressed like after you leave a situation like that and you're like, okay, well, this was great, but this is my life like in motion over
Yeah.
here. And I can add certain pieces, but in order to get that full effect again, you have to remove yourself from the daily
Yeah.
and put yourself back into that type of a situation.
That's
So
really interesting that you said that. I'll get a little bit vulnerable about this because I did have like, okay, so my last day that I was there, I had to check out of my hotel at 12 of my flight, or I didn't have to leave the resort until like 3:45, 4. So I, got all my stuff together in the morning. I had a couple workout classes, and it was just like a bittersweet feeling of like I said, I was ready to go, but I was sad to leave and just like so grateful for the experience. So I went to the cafe. I did my makeup. I had my breakfast or lunch, whatever time it was. I checked out at the front, and then I gave them my bags, and I just had like, enough stuff. I had my book, my journal, my computer, because I did a little bit of work, and then just like my makeup and stuff. So I, did my makeup at the little cafe there, and then I took like a long walk all the way around the resort, and like I put my phone away, I put everything away, and I just like was just trying to like take it all in for the last moment.
you're giving me goosebumps.
I'm getting them myself too, because I just like was so mindful about like my just final goodbye, and like, oh, this was just such a good experience. And so I did the labyrinth that I talked about. It's like I hadn't done it because it was kind of like I always say woo woo. Like it's one of like the woo woo things that like I was like I want to do it, but like I don't know if it's my thing. So there was a bench there, and I sat and I just like reflected on my trip in my journal there, and then yeah, I took like the labyrinth walked and was like, you know like telling myself I deserved this, and like it was so good, and I feel so good right now, and just like things that I needed to remind myself of this trip, and just like manifested while I was walking, just feel good things, all feel good things. Did the walk, and it was like kind of emotional. I'm not gonna lie, like I wasn't expecting to get emotional
Yeah.
about it, but I was just like so full. I was like overflowing. And then yeah, I got home, and I was so full, so full, so full. And then this past Sunday, it was getting to be my time of the month. So I was
That was just the end of it.
no, not the end, not the end, but that's where I caught myself like kind of almost
Spiraling.
like just not quite a spiral, but more just like a tip into my old ways. And then I was like, snap out of it. Like, no, this is not. And then I realized why it was happening, but I was like, okay, that was fair. You're allowed to, yeah. But I still feel like I'm on a high from the trip, and like I just got so much out of it. And the moral of this chat is to take care of yourself and feed into yourself, and you never ever regret doing that.
You don't. It's the best money spent when
Yeah.
you invest in yourself. Okay, what was the name of the resort? We talked about the town.
Yes. Savannah Wellness.
Savannah Wellness in Carefree,
Arizona.
Arizona.
Yes.
Okay, and eventually I'm going to be going there.
Yeah, you literally have to. It was unreal.
I have to. All right. Well, that was our take on Alyssa's trip, and I really wanted to do a recording about her being there. I really wanted to do it right when you got back, so that it was super.
I'm still feeling it, so
I know
I'm good.
it's radiating off of you.
No, yeah.
Like so amazing, and I'm glad that we were able to talk about it. Sorry that I yawned. Like I said, I came off the 3 day.
You've been talking
I've been
for like 72 hours. I tried to talk as much as I could so that
yeah, so that I didn't have to.
My
It was
project.
we were actually gone for 5 days though. Saturday,
know,
Sunday, Monday,
yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday. So like a
That's
lot
a
of
long
talking
trip.
and a lot of being outside of like, in an environment that was crazy fast paced.
Yeah.
Like even if it didn't mean to be, even if it thought it was relaxing, it was pretty fast paced. So
You need
yeah.
to
So I'm
need to
sorry I
forgive
yawned.
yourself
It
this
was
weekend.
definitely not about this conversation. You know what's bad about that? I've probably hit your leg like 10 times
No,
now.
it's fine.
Um,
I'm like that too. I'm like,
is yeah, is like I'll really struggle on the weekends. Like if I don't feel like doing anything, I'm like, oh, maybe you should do this. Maybe you should do that before you sit and do nothing. You know what I mean? Like I don't know why. It's just wired. Like Yeah.
Yeah.
I still am like, I really need that trip more than you needed it, to be honest with you. But
Everyone can
yes.
benefit. I swear, like my client, first of all, the girls in here are probably like, "Are you done talking about Arizona?" And I'm like, "No, no."
Mhm.
But they've also told me like, "I need to go." Like, and I'm like, everyone needs to
Yeah,
go. Like,
all of us.
there's so many. Like, it doesn't even have to be Arizona. There's a million. Like the one I stayed at was really really nice and good. But yeah, they're all over the country.
Yeah,
Like you don't have
tons.
to, there's ones on the beach, there's ones in Miami, there's ones in LA has a bunch of them. Like they're
But I think
everywhere.
to get the best vibe, you've got to go to the most remote place. I do.
True.
Because
And
you're
it
gonna,
was very like it was like 40 minutes outside the city, just like a
yeah,
little
you
bit
got to
away.
remove yourself from the chaos.
Yeah.
All right, so you can please, if you don't already, follow us, subscribe. That helps us grow. If you have a friend who really needs to take this relaxing vacation, send them this episode.
Yes.
And obviously, you can follow us on social media at
Hair by Alyssa Wolf.
Jennifer_Johnson_Janish, the salon, Adored Salon, or the hairline, Adored_signature_hand tied_hair. I know that one's a long one. Or on YouTube, we are Adored Salon. If you're watching us there, like you already know this. But please, yes, follow us, subscribe to us, write us a review. We would love you for that. That helps to make this show grow. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.